invite Mr. Anthony Rushton, Chairman of the Training and Development Award Organizing Committee 2023, to deliver the welcoming address and introduce the campaign awards. Mr. Rushton, please.
Thank you. Excellent. So, good morning and welcome. How is everyone? Good, excellent. Okay, so the purpose of the next couple of hours is really to give you a quite comprehensive briefing on the training awards, how it all works, the kind of aims of what we want to achieve, and also a little bit of background and how long we've been undertaking this important award. Just to start by saying, we do get an immense amount of support and sponsors from a wide variety of organisations, which is, for me, a really good sign in terms of how important lots of organisations see this Training and Development Award. Okay. So the more structured agenda, I'll give you a little bit of, like I said, a background of the award, and then I'll go through the campaign awards, how that actually all is structured and how it works, if and when you want to make entries. And then I'll hand over to Edward, and he will explain a little bit more from his experience in terms of the campaign award with being a winner last year. And then from that, we'll invite Rita, who won the individual awards as well, and again go through kind of the criteria and judging process, etc. And then lastly, we'll invite Sarah, who was our 2022 Trainer of the Year, again to share her experiences as well. Okay. And then, for me, the most important part is the ending in terms of the Q&A. So let's make it really informal. Let's make it as interactive and ask as many questions as you want. And obviously, we are joined by our online participants as well. And hopefully, we'll get lots of questions from you via Slido. So, okay, so let's get going. So as you can see, the award has been established for many, many years. It is probably the most important award that Hong Kong actually undertake in terms of training and development. And it really is to give public recognition for all the hard work, creativity, innovativeness in terms of what our training community is capable of doing. It really is a chance to actually shine a torch on all the great solutions that we actually undertake for various businesses and organizations. Okay. I always call it kind of sharing the best practices, okay, and learning from each other. So what we do believe is obviously it is beneficial from both an organization point of view and also from individual trainers as well. But first, from an organization point of view, again, it strengthens reputation and how much organizations are investing into people development, okay, which is obviously very key and very important. And as we do any kind of research, one of the top reasons why people want to join an organization is because the investment in their development, especially when it's looking for new talent and graduate recruitment, etc. So it is very important. And then also from benefits of individual trainers, it absolutely gives recognition externally. I've been with the same organization, HSBC, for what, 43 years? And 20 years of that in training. And it's very rare that you get opportunities to actually showcase what you're doing externally, because it's all very internally based. So this is a great opportunity to be able to do that. I just want to explain a little bit around how we actually are structured and how we actually operate. As you can see there, we've got three kind of board of examiners split into like three committees. The Training and Development one, which I'm fortunate to chair, the People Development Management Committee, and then the People Management Committee. And the reason why we are structured like that is that we operate, say, within our committee of the training and development of absolutely subject matter expertise. All those people that you see on the slide are true learning and development specialists. They know what they're doing, absolute true SMEs. And as you can see from the slide, in terms of the wide variety of organizations that take part in the committee, and there's around 20 of us. And obviously we meet on a regular basis to catch up and again share best practice, etc. Then we've got the People Development Management Committee. Now, again, a very wide variety of organisations involved in this committee. And this is what I call kind of the wider HR, the wider HR team. And again, there's around about, what, 15 people there. And then lastly, the People Management Committee. And these are probably kind of holding more senior roles within a HR function. The reason why I'm just saying this is these people, and if the mathematicians of you have added all those names on the slide, there's probably around 51 people who are judging all the entries that are received. So again, the reason why I'm mentioning that the judging process is as robust as it can be, because there is such a wide variety of people reviewing the applications and the entries, and wide variety of HR backgrounds, and a wide variety of industries and companies and organizations. So it's taken extremely seriously. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, that kind of we have two main awards, the campaign awards and the individual awards. So obviously the campaign awards is more around programs, the development of training solutions. The obviously individual awards is more about how effective that trainer is in their role in terms of their delivery, facilitation skills, design skills, consultancy skills, kind of you name it. That professionalism around the role. And obviously, we as you can see from the slide, we've kind of split that into distinguished trainers, so very experienced trainers, yeah, or indeed really encouraging outstanding new trainers into this type of role as well. Okay. So those are the awards again. So like I said, I'll talk about the campaign awards. Okay. So we've got various awards to give recognition. Obviously, the main award is the 1 gold award, 2 silver awards, 3 bronze awards, and 4 excellence awards. And again, what will become apparent is if you add 4, 3, 2, 1, that adds up to 10, because what we see is that after all the written submissions, etc., that there will be 10 finalists actually being selected to present their training solutions, their campaign awards at the convention center. So what we're trying to encourage, when you get to this stage of being able to present your training solution, then obviously you get some good recognition about it because of all the hard work you've done. We've also just added 2 other awards, HR Professionals Favorite Campaign, and then also the Students Favorite Campaign. The Students Favorite Campaign is that we do on the day of the presentations. There's lots of students that are invited, and they obviously have a complete fresh look and objectively again vote on which they believe is the best entry. Okay. So as well as those kind of 10, 12 awards, we've also got some very, very specific awards in what I would say is very topical themes. Okay, The way that this works is that if you're thinking of putting an entry in, which I hope you will do, is that as you're submitting the entry, you'll probably be thinking that actually it could be that my entry, it is so of a high standard around culture change. Yeah? So if you believe, and I'm just picking that as an example, you believe that your entry, because it's so strong and so impactful around changing culture, say within an organization or changing culture within a team, that you think that that is your real strong, I call it a USP, unique selling point, then obviously you can simply apply to gain recognition around culture change. Okay, and as it says there, you can choose a maximum of 3 special awards per entry. Okay, you don't have to, but again, as you're submitting it, it might be something that you think, it's really strong in, the impact that we've had, social impact, or, the way that we looked at stakeholder engagement. It was very innovative, very creative, that you may want to putting your hand up and saying, actually, we deserve a special recognition in that area. Okay. Now, there's obviously quite a few, quite a wide variety. I'm obviously not going to go into detail around these, but what we do have on these slides and also in the brochures here are the definitions of those special awards. Okay, so it gives you, and we've tried to be quite specific with the definitions, so there's no ambiguity in terms of what it actually means. And if you feel as though your entry fits the bill of one of those, then please, mark that on your submission, okay, your entry form. So again, please have a good read of those different types of special awards. Just also to mention that these special awards aren't static. We as a committee meeting, as a training organising committee, we meet at the beginning of the year and go through the whole kind of process of the awards and how we structure them, how we look at judging them, do we need to make any changes. Part of it, we actually look at the special awards to make sure they're actually up to date and in theme with what organizations are going through in terms of what's strategically top of mind. So I'll give you an example. I think the first 2 where we've recently, last year, added innovation, for example. We felt as though that, what organizations are asking is for training solutions to be absolutely more innovative. Especially in this last couple of years with dealing with COVID, of how we actually probably changed our training strategy in terms of the design, delivery, and execution. So this is why we kind of really look carefully at what are the topical special awards. And give you an example, the 4th one down there, as you can see, we've got new in terms of excellence in well-being, because again, that is becoming so prominent in terms of the focus on organizations absolutely being responsible for employees' well-being. So again, when you're thinking of making entries and your training solution is really aimed at looking at employees' well-being, that's the one you may want to take. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of looking at the eligibility. Again, this is in your brochures, because we don't want to be building people's hopes up and then having a reply from HKMA to say, whoops, sorry, it's not appropriate to make an entry. So again, this is where we're actually quite specific with the eligibility. So again, please have a careful read of that. Just to give you some timelines, okay. So the submission of an entry form The deadline is 3rd of April. You'll have, so that's the entry form. You've got until the, is it the lighting, 15th of May with the submission, the written submission. And then this is when they will be objectively judged with those 3 committees, like I said, around 60 people. And then this is when we will select the top 10 finalists and any of the special awards that I've previously mentioned as well. So these 10 finalists will be invited to conduct the presentation seminar at the Convention Centre, okay, on the 23rd of August. Okay. So just an entry form is there, but no need to kind of get in your phones right now to QR code it, because obviously it's in the actual brochure as well. And again, just to mention that it is all online for submissions, etc. So what should a written submission look like? So we're saying that up to 5-page summary of the program, and obviously need that in English for people like me who can't understand a word of Chinese, and then which I'll explain a little bit about more the judging criteria. But the emphasis here is that when you are submitting your 5-page summary, really give reference and refer to the judging criteria. And again, you'll see in this brochure that the judging criteria is weighted in terms of points allocated. So again, you know, the more you pay attention to what that judging criteria is looking for and the weightings, that will guide how you want to present your written submission. Okay, so I would give real careful reference to what the judging criteria is looking at, because again, as judges, we will have the entries in front of us, and to the left-hand side, we will have the judging criteria that we'll be constantly, you know, referring to. And then obviously it's a very objective way of allocating marks in terms of entries. Okay. So mentioned the deadlines of the written submission in the previous slide, and like I said, all entries will be reviewed by those 60 people in 3 committees. Okay. This is optional. We've had this for the last several years now, where we feel as though that actually sometimes you might not be able to convey everything in written format. So this is just kind of an added option if you feel as though it's necessary to also submit a short video that highlights the program. Okay. No more than 5 minutes. And we've thought long and hard about this in terms of we could run into the potential of large organizations having massive budgets to all of a sudden start producing some fantastic, you know, bells and whistles of videos and, you know, kind of production teams and all the rest of it, you know, trying to highlight their program. And it might give the wrong impression in terms of actually the dazzling video overrides actually the actual training intervention. So this is where we're quite specific in terms of, let's keep it simple. You know, you can get your mobile phone, you can record it, simple, convey what you need to convey. It doesn't have to be, well, we really don't want any special effects or animations or production teams, you know, making the video. Just simple, straightforward, 5-minute video. Okay. And like I said, you know, mentioned about the judging criteria. This judging criteria is super, super objective with weighted scores, weighted marks. in each of the categories. So please give a lot of consideration, like I said, when you're doing your written submission, to referring to this. Again, when we meet at the beginning of the year in January, we always constantly questioning ourselves in terms of, is this the right judging criteria? Not just in terms of the categories of, say, you know, measurement and outcomes, innovation, etc., but even the kind of statements below. We go line by line by line just to make sure that you know, it is correct, and can we make any improvements? And some years, yeah, we do slightly alter things because obviously things do change. Okay, so that's just a picture. That's just again, if you haven't actually been part of the award presentation seminar, it's like I said, in the convention center. It's a great day, lots of energy, and a really super can-do environment. And yeah, the day actually flies by. So me and my colleague Chris kind of MC it, facilitate it, just to make sure it goes according to plan. Okay, so with that, just very quickly, just to mention a few of those of the bullet points, is that if you are successful in getting to presenting at the exhibition center, it's a 20-minute presentation with 10 minutes Q&A. So you're on under the spotlight for 30 minutes in English. And this is in front of what I call senior business executives, either CEOs, financial controllers, you know, treasurers, you know, the real kind of anybody outside of HR in essence. Because again, the reason why we want to involve the CEO kind of senior executive level is that if you logically think about it, if you're doing a training solution, you know, who do you need support from? Who pays for that investment of creating that training solution? And majority of organizations, it's kind of that senior executive level outside of HR. You know, they're the income generators. You know, they've got the pen to sign the check. So it's great that they are judging from an outside of a HR perspective in terms of the entries. Okay. So yeah, that's how it works. And there's a combination of taking into consideration their input, and obviously the 3 committees of reading the written submission. So there's this really good balance in terms of professionalism from a training and HR perspective, but also the business perspective as well. So it is quite a robust way of actually objectively choosing the gold, silver, and bronze, etc. Okay, just to emphasize, I think this is probably one of the last slides, that we really encourage SMEs. So, you know, small, medium enterprise organizations. My personal opinion, some of the entries that we do get from SMEs are absolutely so high quality. You don't always have to be working for an international organization like HSBC, who's got kind of capacity to invest in complex training solutions. But also, actually, it always doesn't need that dollar. It can be done very simply. Some really superb, effective training interventions by some small, medium enterprises. And we really want to be encouraging that because obviously it's just as important that in small organizations, employees are receiving great training and development interventions. Okay, so if there is any questions from what I've said for my little part, then please scan the QR code and start kind of entering any questions for our Zoom participants. Okay. And